Alright, you little shits. Welcome to the TMT podcast. This is David. With me is my host, Jamie. I am fucking salty, and I don't give a shit which season it is right now. I don't even know what number this is. I just don't know what it is. Fuck it. I don't care. Just bleep, 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 bleep. Alright? So, Jamie Jamie informed me of something before the podcast began. There was a Ghostbusters trailer. And you know what? I'll say this for it. This one made me laugh. This one got a couple of, okay, I like that, jokes out of it. It wasn't, the humor didn't fall flat. And then, it turned around and pulled a dildo out of its butt by showing off the fucking monster at the end of the trailer. Why? You don't do that. You don't show off Doomsday. You don't show off the monster in Ghostbusters. It's not what you do. It ruins the movie. If you had shown off in the trailer what happens in Civil War at the end, then it would have ruined the entire film.
Yeah.
You don't do that. And onto the you're not supposed to show off everything, and you're not supposed to make the trailer lie about the plot like it does in Halo 5. Oh, it's about looking for Cortana and Master Chief's gone rogue. No, fuck that shit. No one cares. Cortana's just gone crazy. The whole fight thing, that just happened for 30 seconds when they had too much testosterone in their eggs. What the fuck? Revealing that this early ruined the jokes that trailer had. And to be fair, I like that trailer. I had, up until those last few seconds, like that trailer more than than the first one. That shit.
Whatever the first one.
Damn it! And you know what? I guarantee you, the director and the producer and the writers and the actresses, they're all fucking salty as shit right now. Because they probably watch it as like, well, some fucking asswipe in marketing decided he needed to have a shinier ass than he does and ruined the movie for him.
It's like, there's this, whatever.
I'm angry.
The thing about the trailer as well is it really spoils most of the movie because there's this whole thing. Like last time they showed off that whole bit with all the ghosts and them fighting the ghosts. That's not like a spoiler because that's just a big battle. Normally you don't get a fight like that at the end of the movie.
They fight ghosts. Is what they do.
Seeing fighting ghosts is good, but showing them fight a ghost from like the old movies, which is a big character, which people like this character, and just to say, oh, this is in our film too. This is what he looks like. This is his scene. Like, no.
I'm not even pissed about that. I'm pissed that they revealed it in the trailer. The marketing people just fucked up so bad. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if it had been in the movie, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I like this. But now they've ruined. I don't have a reason to go see the movie anymore because they've just pretty much spoiled what's going on at the end. As someone who's seen the originals, I can probably guess now what's going on in the movie. Yeah. And the marketing people just ruined the entire movie and all the work that everyone put in and up to this. It's no longer the director's fault or anyone else's fault or the fans' fault. It's the marketing people's fault for being a fucking dipshit. I need some pepper to go with my salt right now.
Yeah, we've had a lot of discussions about trailers and what they should and shouldn't do. They need to stop showing parts of the movies in trailers and start making trailers their own stories, like to lean into them, like to set up the idea instead of just being like, here's clips from the movie. Oops, that one was a spoiler, sorry. Yeah.
A trailer is not supposed to be snippets of clips from a movie. Otherwise, we just call it a snippet. It's supposed to be a trailer. It's supposed to hint while not giving anything away and making you excited. And so much anymore, they just either say, oh, here's a whole plot, or here's something that makes you think the movie's about something entirely different.
Yeah. There's things the trailer should show, there's things the trailer shouldn't show. It should show the main characters. It shouldn't show the surprise villain. That's the easiest way to say it. If you have a character that's going to be... Much. Like in Lex Luthor.
Don't show the doomsday of your movie.
Yeah. If you have Lex Luthor and you know he's going to be the bad guy, show him. Because he's like basically he was there like, this was our villain, but then really they had Doomsday in the corner. They showed off Lex Luthor and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be him playing Batman and Superman. Oh, there's Doomsday. If that had happened in the movie, that would have been a big shock. But if they show it in a trailer and you just watch it, then you go to the movie and you're like, I wonder when Doomsday is going to show up, because you know that's going to happen. It completely belittles parts of the movie. It would have been like if the first Avengers included that scene of Thanos from the post-credit scene. If that was in one of the trailers,
that
would have been because that would have just ruined everything. Like, people immediately have figured it out and be like, oh, this is Thanos. Oh, that's a cosmic cube. Oh, that's an infinity gem. Like,
yeah,
sometimes, yeah. You can ruin, like, a lot.
And even in movies where it's pretty obvious what's going to happen, such as Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I don't remember trailers for Lord of the Rings that showed off things like the Nazgul and the result of the battle of Minas Tirith or the fields of Pelennor.
Yeah. It's like, I'm pretty sure Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire didn't show off Voldemort. I'm pretty sure he didn't appear in a trailer. Because that would have been a shock. Like, you knew he was in the movie, but at the same time, when someone's appearance is meant to be a surprise, like the way they look, them in the movie, that kind of thing, you want to save that for the movie, because that's when you're going to get the best reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm just really salty about this, in case you guys can't.
It's like, this trailer, like, it showed off two characters, basically. It showed off the one that I'm not going to mention, because I think people should be surprised by this guy, but then it also showed off Slimer. Now, Slimer's a joke character. He's not going to be a main focus of the character. It's probably just going to be in like one or two funny scenes. So yeah, if that had been, he should have been at the end of the trailer. That should have been the last little bit of the trailer. Should have just been him screaming or doing something silly.
It could have been him at the end. That could have been doing what he does.
And then you end it on a laugh, and you're like, "Oh, that's Slimer. That's funny. I know him from the movie. That's funny." Instead of whatever the other thing is, like.
Mm-hmm.
There's things you should show off in a trailer because they fit into the trailer and they like make people interested in it. But if you basically show off what the big part of the movie is, like the big shock or the big surprise in the trailer, you take away the fact that it's meant to be a bloody surprise.
Yeah. Really, really badly too.
Yeah. It's like, imagine if Godzilla showed off him doing the atomic breath in the trailer. Like,
I'm amazed they didn't, actually.
I'm honestly amazed they didn't, because I honestly, when I saw the trailers and I saw him just, like, doing the roar and the stomping, I thought they were just going to play him up as, like, a giant lizard. But I didn't think they were going to keep that, like, mystical part to him. But keeping that in him was pretty cool, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Definitely turned out a lot better than this did.
Yeah. If you have... I mean, hell, if you've got a movie called Godzilla, they're going to have to show Godzilla in the trailer. But they did a really good job with those trailers. They didn't show a lot of him.
The trailers were better than the movie.
Yeah, if the trailers... Yeah. I mean, hell, it was
the trailers did their job very well and got me to see a movie that actually was rather subpar.
Yeah. Except for the bit where Godzilla shows up.
It was a Godzilla movie.
When Godzilla made his cameo
in the
movie Godzilla and did his thing, that's great. Like,
he was too trailery in the actual movie.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I'm just going to disappear behind this building. Oh, I'm back. Here's my foot." That's basically Godzilla. It's like, I imagine Godzilla was just like really diva-y. It was like, "I'm only going to appear for so much of the movie. Don't put me on the poster."
Someone had obviously spent a bit too much time watching Cloverfield. And while Cloverfield works for Cloverfield, that's not why people watch Godzilla. They watch Godzilla, they watch Godzilla beat Godzilla.
Did I express my theory that I think the Cloverfield monster is the same monster from Godzilla? Or not necessarily the same one, but they're very, very similar, I feel. Especially because you never fully see... You never see the Cloverfield monster, but the parts you do see kind of do link up with the things from Godzilla.
Except, I don't know what it's like over there, but over here they showed off what the thing looked like on the back of the DVD box.
Oh, the full thing, really?
And so I can tell you it's not a Muto. Yep.
Ah, that sucks. But they don't show it in the movie, so they make a concept art of the thing just to show off in a trailer in the full... image?
Oh, it's not a concept art. You can see, the good sides of it, standing out against a skyscraper. So, yeah. I can tell you, though, it's not a Muto.
Ah, that sucks. Could still be in the same universe, though.
I imagine, though, that Godzilla then would have showed up and ate that, too.
Yeah.
Or, just, killed it for sport and left it.
Yeah. I really do love the story of Cloverfield.
They did a good job with it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they made another movie, called it Cloverfield, and had it nothing with Cloverfield.
Yeah, because that time aren't they under attack by aliens or not actual Cloverfield monsters?
I'm actually genuinely not sure if there's actually... I think it's more like just people locked in a room thinking there's something happening or something. I don't even know if there is actually...
No, I read the wiki article on it because I had to know for myself, like, what is this about?
If it is aliens, it could still be Clover. It still could be the same universe because there's a whole thing at the very end of Cloverfield. You see like it falling from space, like you see something crash down into the middle of the ocean.
Well, that's just okay.
It's a really weird bit. It's the.
I'm not sure how I should feel about that.
The reason it's weird is because it's literally the couple who you just keep seeing their videos of their day out, and you're seeing how much in love they are. There's just a moment where they're taking a selfie by the beach, and in the very background you just see something fall down into the water.
Huh.
It's like, if it really was there...
First, let me take a selfie.
It'd be like, they have a really weird connection with this monster. If
you mean like the guy in Godzilla?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just the main couple from a thing in the Cloverfield, who, like, at the end are, like, huddled together, scared. And it's just chase. Yeah. It'd be even more funny if it was the guy from Godzilla. He's like, I'm going to the army tomorrow to see my dad, but now let's take a selfie by the beach.
First, let me take a selfie. Da, 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 da.
The music literally plays.
That's about how I feel.
Anyway, Dave, last week there was one topic on your list that we didn't get to.
There was?
Yeah.
There was, but I don't remember what it was now.
I do, because I've been holding on to this, and I've been doing a little bit more follow-up research.
Oh, okay.
It seems...
Well, go ahead, then.
It seems this year has really been very hit or miss for superhero movies.
I'm trying really hard to remember what this topic was, but I don't remember.
It seems, because first we got Deadpool, and Deadpool was a good surprise. It was a good iteration of the character, and it was an okay movie. Then we got Batman v Superman. It didn't really understand the characters that were in the movie, and kind of didn't paint them in the right light, and was not that good a movie. But then, following up from that, we got Captain America Civil War. It, personally, probably one of my favourite Marvel films. Following up from that, this week, or this current, around this time frame, X-Men Apocalypse has come out to some pretty bad reviews.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember. Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse got less than favorable reviews, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, on the level of...
I'd say...
Yeah, reviews on the level, Batman and Superman, almost.
I'd say not as bad as that, but very close, I'd say. I would say...
Yeah, definitely close.
I'd say the problem with an X-Men movie is you need to have a lot of characters in it, because that's what the X-Men are, they're a team. The problem is, they can't... You need to do an X-Men movie, if you're introducing new characters, you need to focus on them for more than 2 minutes. Problem is, this movie struggled to do that, apparently.
Huh. Yeah, I know. I only mostly skimmed the headlines of the reviews.
Yeah.
But I remember Forbes calling it a... how did they phrase it? Oh, yeah. A franchise-ending disaster.
Ouch. Like, if... Like,
yeah, that's really rough there.
Yeah. Especially because I've heard this movie has, like, sets up, like, the future. Like, that's pretty harsh if you're like, alright, we're doing some new movies. These are the setup for the new movies. Now let's see what the headline for this movie was. Oh dear. I wonder if they're still giving the money to make the next 6 movies that I've got planned.
Yeah. Apparently people did not like Bryan Singer's newest movie.
No. Apparently a lot of people keep saying as well that certain characters' appearances in the trailer, like you see certain characters doing moments in that trailer. Apparently that's all they kind of do. Like...
Oh, so kind of like Storm in X-Men 3. Oh.
Basically, yeah.
Well, no, not X-Men 3. Not X-Men 3. She had a big part in X-Men 3.
Days of Future Past.
I meant, yes.
Well, it's literally just her, like, flying, and then she dies. But she dies before the big battle, really. She's the first one, isn't she?
Yeah, she's the first one to go. Just like they just completely yank her over the edge, and just completely toss her off. Literally toss her out of the game, out of the story. Yeah, she literally gets tossed aside.
She does that badass moment where she teams up with Magneto, and they both like use their powers together to be really badass. And then, she gets stabbed by one that just showed up, and then the whole battle starts.
And that's it.
And like she wasn't in the previous battle. That was literally her using her powers. Was her flying, doing a bit of lightning, and then getting stabbed in the back and thrown off a cliff. Storm, everybody.
Yep.
It would have been funny if she said, "You know what happens to a Sentinel when it stabs a Storm in the back?"
What happens when you get shot by lightning? The same as
Same as The problem with that line is I feel like I know what it was going for, and I feel like if it had been said correctly, it could have been a really badass line. But she just says it like it's meant to be it's meant to like spark a thought. Like she says that, and you're like, oh yeah, it does. It's so weird. I recently watched the first X-Men movie as well.
Yeah.
It's like I can understand why certain characters were completely ignored. You know, like because originally there were plans to have like Beast and Angel in the first X-Men movie. They would have looked terrible.
Yeah, they would have.
It's a good thing they went for pretty much the normal looking X-Men, and then just had. They
started off in the right direction. I mean, for the times that they were
it was a
the first two X-Men movies were really good because no one even wanted a superhero movie at the time. So the fact that he pulled that off is actually impressive. And he just then didn't realize, oh wait, that's not what people want anymore.
No, then he decided, I'm going to do a Superman movie. Because,
Which was kind of not that great.
Yeah. Here's the problem. If you're good at making a certain movie for a certain team of superheroes, maybe stick to that team. Like, if he'd stuck out and done the third movie...
Well, apparently not, because apparently X-Men Apocalypse isn't that great, so apparently not.
This is the first time he's technically done the third movie in a trilogy. And it's still... Apparently the third movie in every, X-Men trilogy, not good.
Yeah. So always avoid every third movie.
And apparently in the movie there's actually a joke about the third movie not being as good as the other movies.
So are they going to make a joke about that in the next one?
Apparently that joke was meant to be a dig at X-Men 3. But it turns out they made a film just as bad as X-Men 3. I was like, oh. We kind of made the mistake of making a joke, and then it became true. But, it's an X-Men movie. You get a little bit of flashiness. A lot of CGI, apparently. Well, you can see that in the trailers, really.
Yeah.
Which ain't a bad thing, but when you can really tell it's CGI, it does kind of get annoying.
Yeah. Maybe that's just, because we're, extra, whiny now or something, but, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
I mean, I'll say that. I'll say... Captain America Civil War, there are moments in that big battle where you can tell it's CGI or green screen or stuff like that. But, because it's, laced in with normal stuff at the same time, it's a character digitally doing a flip while there's normal stuff going on around it or something like that, it kind of evens out. But when it's digital characters fighting on a digital arena or whatever, it's kind of just too much. You feel like you should be watching a cartoon because you'll be getting the same thing, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when that happens.
It is.
It's just... I don't even know what to say.
I mean, it's something that people are saying with, Jurassic World. We need to start going back to doing practical effects in movies.
Practical effects... if they're done properly, they just can't be beat. They hold up so well. Why? Because it's not actually an image. It's something your brain is actually looking at.
Like, obviously, there's always times in a movie where you need to be digital, like, where it won't work in the other way. But if you can use a practical effect, why don't you do it? Like...
I don't know what to tell you, Jamie. The world's a strange, strange place.
Why do people not want their movies to look good? You do your movies in CGI, and it'll be top-of-the-line CGI now, but in about a month, there'll be better CGI, and all of a sudden you'll realise, I could have done the character's eyes so they look normal, or whatever.
Maybe they don't feel like that's how it works.
I mean, it kind of is, though. Like
yeah, it is how it works, but they always feel like they can beat the curve.
Yeah. It's like, if we do this trick, if we do this, or
the curve can't be beaten. Obey the curve.
Jurassic Park, now and then, they still feel more alive than the animals in Jurassic World.
Yeah. So that fear is confirmed. I mean, Jurassic World's still a good movie, but animals don't look as good.
It's a good movie. There's good moments. But, like, the last showdown, like, the 3 dinosaurs fighting, that's amazing and really fun to look at. But you immediately know that it's just computers. Like, it's just, like, editing and all this stuff. Like, at no point are you thinking, wow, they got these real dinosaurs to fight. Like, there's computers fighting, and there's Chris Pratt pretending they're real.
And for some reason, just following the dinosaurs while they're fighting instead of running the opposite direction.
Away. I mean, how did they not think that once one dinosaur won, they would go after them? Because they probably would have in real life.
Oh, absolutely. They would have been so dead. They would have been 8. Literally.
I mean, obviously, I mentioned Godzilla. There's no way a practical Godzilla movie will be very hard to pull off in a way that works. Unless you have a guy in a costume stomping around a paper set. Which they did.
Which was pretty cool.
At the time. Now it's more...
No, it's still kind of funny, though, because then they can have an excuse for him to do the most obscure, stupid gestures.
Yeah. He just tilts his head at the camera. He's like, ooh. Looking all confused.
And he could do like the Japanese incel where he kind of just like rubs his finger under his nose. That's something you'll get an understanding that it'd look cool to see a Godzilla do now. It's pretty much just to flick off the bad guy before he starts fighting.
But yeah, I'll basically say that in any possibility, if something can be a practical effect, just do it. If it's possible to make, like angel wings that like shoot up on a guy's back, they'd look a lot better than just just
wings,
or just draw it, or just animating them on.
Yeah.
It's like Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2. His claws were real. Like, they were puppets kind of thing. And they look better than they would have...
Stuff.
And that looks good.
They look fantastic.
It looks a lot better than if it had just been computers, like, moving around.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot better than half the stuff that any time that Green Goblin and Spider-Man fought in the first movie. Where it's literally like, and now the movie becomes a video game.
I don't know, I gotta admit though, I kind of like that first movie still quite a bit.
It's a good movie, it's just, especially the bit with the carnival and the balloons, the way he jumps on them. There's a video online of someone putting Mario music over that, when he jumps on the balloons. It's like,
sure.
It really funny. Anyway, speaking of superheroes,
yes.
This week the ever growing trend of remastering video games has claimed someone else in the form of the Batman Arkham series. This week they announced Batman Return to Arkham, which will be remastered versions of Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City.
Those games didn't come out that long ago.
No, yeah, exactly. It's because they did the last in the series. So they're like, how are we going to make money now? Just make Batman look a little bit nicer in the first game.
Yeah, how are we going to make our monies? Warner Brother needs their monies.
It's like... But, like, it's pretty much that. Like, you see the trailer and it's kind of everything you'll see. It'll be like, all the villains remastered. That's kind of basically it. And then you get the night, and then you just get the end. It's like Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and all the DLC remastered. It's like,
yeah, alright like, then I guess
it's like it'd be a lot better if they waited a couple of years. Like
would have been
like if it would have been a good launch title for the next Xbox and the next PlayStation, like that kind of thing. But it definitely feels a little bit like jumping the gun. But I think the Borderlands, the Handsome Jack collection, was probably a shorter release date. Like between the pre-sequel and the Handsome Jack collection, there's probably like 2 years between that.
Oh yeah.
So it definitely seems like people are enjoying the fact. This goes back to what I just said with CGI, and it changes every year. Like they did a game, they used the best they could, and they were like, "This is great." 3 years later, they're like, "We can make that better. Let's just do that and release it as a different game."
I'm just not quite sure anymore, Jamie. I just don't know what to say.
If apparently the world we live in now, people are going to be paying to get the same game again and again and again, but a little bit shinier.
Again and again and again and again. Oh my gosh, why won't they stop? It's again and again.
The Batman...
I feel like we just had a conversation about this too, about things being just looking slightly newer.
Yeah, I feel like it's a growing trend at this time. Everything has to be a little bit better. Is. Everything's got to be greater.
It's all about keeping up with the Joneses again.
Who are the Joneses?
In case you guys don't remember, that didn't really work out too well. It's an old saying from American history, where back in the 50s and the early 20s, everyone had to have the same best and newest gear as everyone else, or else they felt like they were left behind.
Huh. I think I've heard that. I think I've heard that in American TV, like that phrase.
I'm glad American TV is teaching you so much about us.
It does.
And I can't really disagree. Which I'm not. Depending on what shows you're watching is really disconcerting.
I don't know at the moment. I don't think I watch a lot. I haven't even watched this week's episode of Arrow, just because I can't. I don't have it in me.
Oh, are you judging us based on superhero TV shows? Really?
That's all I watch. I think so.
Jamie,
yeah, there's nothing else.
That's not what we are.
But you can be.
We are not superheroes.
Dave, just go to an island for 5 years. You'll come back a superhero. It's how it works.
No, trust me. Americans aren't that cool. We can't do this.
Most of them come back in body bags.
Probably.
That seems to be a thing with American TV shows. There seems to be a lot of stuff to focus on being trapped on an island. Like reality TV, Lost, Arrow. Like, that seems to be a big thing. Does it happen a lot?
Well, but it's more like it's an obvious separation from civilization. It's like an easy thing to use.
It's probably easy as well to build that kind of set. It's like you just find like a woods, and then just say it's an island, and then just put them in it.
Yeah.
It's like you watch most of those shows.
That's an easy thing to acquire.
And you're like, isn't it weird that they don't go to the beach that often? They just hang out in this forest. Like, you'd think they'd spend a little bit more time in the more tropical-looking locations of this island instead of just a woods.
You'd think, but you'd be wrong.
My favourite thing is watching shows and just being like, oh, look at that set. I wonder how much they're going to use that. And they just completely use it for as much as possible. There was an episode of Arrow, I hate to go back to this, but it's a really funny moment, where they had to have these two characters having like a domestic thing, like the guy and his girlfriend having an argument, but they didn't want them to have to make this guy's apartment, so they had the domestic in a different character's house. Like, he just walks in like it's his house, but it's completely not, and he's got no reason to have had... it's like doesn't even make sense that he has a key to this house, but he just walks into this house and his girlfriend's just sitting there, even though she barely has a connection to the guy whose house it is, and it's a really weird moment. Like, they just have a whole argument, he leaves, and then he comes back later. It's like, they could just, like, found any other set. They could just had this conversation in the street. Why do they have to have it in a different guy's house?
Who knows?
It's probably the point
Maybe
where
they just want to make you ask questions.
Like, are they squatting in this guy's house? That's the big storyline for season 5. Is the Green Arrow finds out people have been living in his house.
Where did all these people come from? What are they doing here? Oh, we met our friends. What friends? I've never seen these people before in my life.
In fact, what happened to this nightclub I owned 2 years ago? We kind of lost the set. We kind of burnt down.
Yeah. We may have turned it into something.
See, that was another thing with Arrow. Like, they had this whole storyline for the first 2 seasons about him owning a club. And then the third season's like, oh, he gave it to his sister. And then all of a sudden his sister's like, oh, I'm done with that. I've grown up. It's like, you don't grow up. You just literally got rid of a club that made a lot of money because you were bored. Or because the storyline couldn't be bothered to keep including the club.
The storyline demanded it.
Yeah. It was just generally really funny. It's
a bit unusual, isn't it?
It's like in The Flash, all the villains seem to attack the coffee house.
Well, a coffee house is the best place to eat.
Yeah.
You gotta get them good stuffs.
It's like, where do these characters hang out? The coffee house. The police station. The laboratory. That's about it. Oh, and occasionally a house.
Well, that's also a limitation of budget, too, though.
They have 2 different houses that look exactly the same. But they're not even meant to be near each other.
That's also a limitation of budget, though. You gotta give them a bit of credit there.
I understand limitation of budget at all. I understand it. It's just... I just think it's generally a funny thing when you sit down to watch a TV show and count how many different sets they have for the episode. It's like the Fantastic Four movie where they literally went to 4 different places. And how no one's heard a thing about what's happening with them. So in about 7 years, when the rights are getting all muddled up and it's like, we have to make a movie now or we're going to lose the rights, they're just like, we'll find someone on the street, give them money, make a movie, release it, make a little bit of money, and whatever.
Make a little bit of money.
They make a profit because they don't invest any money into the actual movie. They'll put barely any budget. They'll have very weird generic suits. And then they release the movie. Everyone goes to see it because they want it to be good. Turns out it's not good. But they've made their money back. The system works.
This sounds awfully dickish.
Of me or them?
Of the idea.
Okay. I mean, it is... I hate the whole, like, what Fox does with the Fantastic Four. Like, the way their things work, if they don't make a movie every 7 years, then the rights go back to Marvel. So it just means they're constantly just going to keep making crappy movies with random actors and actresses who just can be bothered. And that's it. If they make it, release it in a certain time frame, they've got the rights for 6 to 7 more years. What do they do with the movie in that time? Not much. But they just could say, Marvel can't have this in their movie franchise. Even though it's vastly superior to anything we've ever coughed up. I know a lot about the...
You're angry.
I'm trying to keep up with you.
No, I think my anger is worn off since we stopped talking about it.
I literally told you about the trailer. You were like, I'm going to watch it. And then you were like, we should start the podcast now. And she started off the podcast angry.
Yep. Oh, I started off very angry.
But you're worn out. Besides from that Ghostbuster trailer, I will say, at least has one or two lines that are kind of funny.
Yeah, there were a couple of funny parts in it, and then, it ruined itself for a fucking thing.
Yeah. It's the fact that it's completely out of place. Like, they have this whole comedy thing, they have all this laughing, and then they have to just show off, like, whatever.
That.
It's like, big shock and reveal in the trailer. That's for the comedy moments. That doesn't make sense that you include this moment here. But, there you go. That's how people work.
Apparently. Yeah, I wasn't pleased with that at all. They screwed itself over, not for anything they did, but because of something marketing did.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Which I imagine is really upsetting to the people who actually...
Trailers are always just marketed people.
That must be really upsetting to the people who actually worked it.
Yeah. Especially the
director's
people
going to release a statement now saying that the marketing people ruined his movie. Which, he would not be wrong.
He'll do a... who else did that? I think that was the director of Fantastic Four was just like, the editing department ruined my movie, the casting department ruined my movie. Like, he literally just had a list of people who worked on the movie and said they ruined his movie. The catering department ruined my movie. I'm pretty sure he's very salty about how people didn't like his movie.
Probably. I mean, heck, the way they just screwed that over, I would have been angry too.
I think that's the joys of working on movies. If you make a movie, you film all these scenes, and then you just put them in a room and be like, now let's see what the editors and the studio and everyone says should be in the movie. And before you know it, they've made a movie that's completely different to what you made. And you're just showing up to a premiere dressed smartly, knowing that half the scenes are probably taken out of context or don't even have the right setup or the right emotion anymore.
Yep.
Although I think that must happen a lot more with writers. Like, they write a good movie, write good jokes, and then see how they're moved, see how they're changed around. I imagine writers have the worst experience where they write something and they're really happy with it, and then it literally gets, like, torn apart. Like, they're like, we're going to change this scene, we're going to cut this bit, we're going to edit this bit, we're going to change the dialogue in this bit.
Yeah.
I believe in the first X-Men movie, Joss Whedon was part of the writing team, so he wrote some of the movie. And apparently only 2 lines that he wrote made it into the movie. I don't know what they are, but sure. I think they were both just one-liners. I think he got 2 one-liners in the movie.
That's absurd. It's just kind of ridiculous what happens in life.
Yeah, I'd say so. I would say the way movies work, like, there's some people who don't fully understand how movies work and they always think it's one person or one aspect of the movie that happens, but they don't realise, like, how big, like one little scene of a movie could take this long to make or this long to do and could have this many people, like, working on it to make it good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the place.
It takes a lot to make. I mean, look how many people are in the credits anymore. Jeez.
Mm. If you go to a Marvel movie and you sit through the credits to watch the post-credit scene, it takes you about 9 minutes to get through the credits, because literally,
at least,
because there's literally that many people who do things in the movie that are worth mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like
a big process.
I'm pretty sure as well there's like an allotted time. Like, if you're literally working on a movie for a day, they don't credit you or something like that. So I'm pretty sure that most of the people, I think it's more of a thing. Like if you were a writer and someone handed the script and you, like, basically looked over one scene and you spent like 20 minutes on it, you're probably not going to get credited as a writer. You'll probably get like a special thanks or like something like that. But a lot of times,
there are a lot of those too.
But yeah, there's a lot of people who show up on set for a day, do something, and then they don't really get credited because I think most contracts, you have to put in a certain amount of hours working on a movie before you get credited in the credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Gavin said that when he did slow-mo for movies, like, a lot of times he'd work for a day and he wouldn't get and like that'd be it. Like you wouldn't get anything further than that. They could just just work on it. You just do a scene, leave, and then that's it. They basically just pay him and he's gone. They're like, thank you, and then they shoot them in the back of the head. Like, you've done your work.
Thank you, Mr. Bond. Now.
But it's a crazy thing to try and understand how
it all works.
Yeah. It's like when The Avengers came out and everyone was like, Joss Whedon really did great in the movie. And he did. He did a great job as director and writer. But there was a lot of other people working on that movie as well. Mm-hmm. And there always is.
There always will be.
Yeah. So basically I'm saying when a movie fails, there's a lot of people that you can blame.
Like the marketing people.
Yeah. Because it literally is just the marketing. Because most times it is literally just the marketing people saying, we're going to put these scenes and these scenes in.
But those are like the scenes we were saving. Wait, what? Sorry, we already published those.
Like,
you should have said something quicker.
A lot of times as well, it's like a scene that's been cut from the actual movie and they'll still put it in the trailer. Like there was a scene in Avengers Age of Ultron of a woman in a cave, and that never was in the movie. And apparently it was just cut because like it was part of a much longer scene that was just cut because it was kind of mostly just set up for future movies. Yeah. It just happens. Like saying this now, in Civil War, there's a lot of moments in Civil War that wasn't spoiled through trailers.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if certain reveals had been spoiled in the trailer and then didn't actually show up in the movie, you'd be bloody pissed.
Yeah, we'd all be.
But now the movie's out, they're literally just constantly releasing. Basically, now they've got the thing where it's like the most highly, whatever, like the highest grossing movie, all that kind of stuff, and then they literally like have spoiler scene in it. It's like now that the movie's out and some people have seen it and it's got good reviews and stuff, we don't really care anymore. We know you'll see it now.
You're still going to see it.
Yeah. We did a good movie. You've already seen it. That's it. Watch it. Look at this. Spoiler.
Surprise.
How annoying would that be? Like every time you log onto the internet, the first page you go onto, like you open up your web browser, it instantly just takes you to a spoiler from any type of movie that you haven't seen.
That would make me kill so many things.
You're like, ooh, you wake up and you're like, alright, I've got to do some Google searching or whatever. You turn it on, it goes straight to the web browser, and it's literally just a picture of, I don't know, basically the spoiler from Ghostbusters. Like that was the thing you saw this morning.
Yeah, that
was
infuriating.
You'd look at that, and immediately your mind would like snap, and you'd be like, oh, that's from this movie. Ah, damn it.
That'd be terrible. Why would you want to make something like that, Jamie?
I don't want to. I'm just saying that'd be a very horrible thing to happen.
You seem to like coming up with these horrible things that happen.
I don't know what the word for it is. I like the scenarios. I like the making up the scenarios and just watching people suffer. Oh no.
Yeah, see?
I think last time I talked about making people suffer,
you betrayed yourself.
I think the last podcast I talked about making people suffer, we just didn't air.
I think so, yeah. But see, you do like making people suffer. It's true.
I like the scenarios. I like people's reactions to them. I'll say that. That's what I mean. Like I liked watching the.
That sounds a lot less terrible.
I watched people's reactions to the Ghostbuster trailer, and so many of them were just like, oh. Like so many of them were like putting their hands in their heads and like just moaning or just like being like, oh man, they did it. And it's just, I don't know why I find that funny. I just like to imagine the director of the movie sitting there and he's like watching these people react to this trailer and they're getting all annoyed. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty annoyed too, actually. Are they going to blame me?
Yeah, I don't know many people who weren't annoyed.
Although to be fair, he did go on to say that the nerd culture was a bad people or something.
He did.
So no one's innocent in this scenario.
There are no more innocents. We've taken them all.
Basically, I'll say this: if you're making a movie that's meant to appeal to a certain group of people, and that certain group of people don't like the movie, don't start calling them bad. Don't start calling them bad things, because that ain't gonna make them like your movie.
Yeah, I guess you got a point there.
Yeah, it's like, sir, I don't like your movie. What do you mean, you fucking idiot? It's like, okay, never mind.
Easy.
Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. It was a good movie. Or maybe that was just it. He's trying to intimidate us. You will like my movie, or you will die.
I don't think that's how it works.
Well, tell him that. I think I'm now. Anyone who hasn't heard of this situation and then hears me describing it will think of it as 10 times worse than it is.
Yeah. Jamie strikes again.
I'd be a great member of the media. I'd take every word out of context.
Yeah, that's true.
See, I say things as jokes, but when they're very hard truths at the same time. The media sucks. There's this whole thing at the moment with England. We're doing this whole thing where there's like, in the next couple of months, there's going to be a vote whether or not we want to continue to be part of Europe or not, or if we want to, become our own place.
How are you guys going to be un-Europe? Are you just going to, push the island away?
No, it's literally just going to be like, because Scotland tried to do this a few years ago, which basically just want to go independent. Like the United Kingdom doesn't want to be part of Europe. So we're just literally not... I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means we'll become our own continent or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that works either.
Like, the logistics...
Surprise!
But it's for a whole group of reasons. Like there's a certain amount of money that we send every year to, all the other countries for being a part of Europe. And people don't want to keep doing that because they think that's kind of weird and dumb. Especially when we kind of need the money too.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, I guess.
And every time,
especially with how many people seem to go crash or whatever there. How many economies go under?
It's like every time a country puts themselves in debt, it's like we're one of the top countries to have to bail them out because we're considered one of the wealthier countries. It's like maybe we don't. So it's kind of like we've got all the money and they're just like, hey, be part of our gang, and they were like, we don't want to be part of your gang anymore. No, come on, be part of our gang. Or we'll
keep giving us the money.
Give us the money. Look, France has skinned its knee. Give it money. But basically no one in the government wants this to happen. So literally there's just videos all day long saying reasons why should we stay. And a lot of them are really dumb reasons. There's one that's if we stay, we will be allowed to continue to use the pound as our currency.
Why wouldn't... Wait.
We're not going to lose the pound if we lose, but it's their way of saying that, if we stay with Europe, they will still allow us to use the pound as our currency. So it's basically saying, if
you don't do what we want, we're going to take away your things.
Even though if we do leave, we will still keep the pound as our currency. There's not going to be any difference. But they're trying to make out that there will be a difference.
They're threatening to take your stuff away if you don't do what they want.
Basically, either way, we're always going to have the pound as our currency. Either we're going to have the pound as our currency and also be our own independent, or we'll be still part of Europe and still have the pound. So that's a point that they keep making. That doesn't make sense because either way, it's going to work out.
Yep.
But there's
ones... that's kind of strange, I'll admit.
But there's ones where they're like, if you want to go on holiday to any part of Europe, it'll cost a lot more if you leave. It's like, okay.
That would make sense.
It's like, okay, but most of these people are kind of annoyed at Europe, so they don't really want to, go to visit them, pop over for a holiday anytime soon. It's like...
Come to America instead. We're your friends.
Well, that's the thing as well. If we left that would open up a real good bit of trading with, the rest of the world. It's like...
World politics with Jamie.
I'm not even kidding. Like, the UK, before it became part of the EU and all that, like, we had, like, trading with, like, India and Canada and stuff like that. Like, they were considered parts of the United Kingdom. We had, like the Queen had, like, rulership. Yeah. The Queen would, like, say... We had, like, Australia and thing. But we just completely lost all that because we had to... Because we wanted to be part of Europe for some reason. They were like, if you want to be friends with us, you can't be friends with India anymore, or Canada, or Australia, or New Zealand. Like, anything else?
That's awfully bully, like.
Give us some money. But yeah.
That's awfully bully. They're bullying you. Don't stand for that, Jamie.
No, I don't. Nobody wants to. Pretty much everyone wants to leave. Which seems like it's very going to happen, and the Prime Minister is going to be annoyed. Which also people don't mind.
What does Her Majesty think?
She's not really allowed to comment.
Oh, that's right.
It's all politics stuff. I think there was a thing with the President of the United States where he released a statement saying that it would be in the UK's best interest to stay. So everyone's ganging up on us. But no, the people don't
I wouldn't trust our President.
The people don't want to leave, Dave. I stand for the people. I am the representative of our people.
Jamie is the people now.
I will fight you on the streets. Not you, just...
I know what you mean. You're quoting Winston Churchill.
But yeah, to bring back my original point, because the media and everything like that's trying to trick us into staying, the news at the moment isn't covering the stuff that's happening in Europe. Because like the other day there was huge riots happening in France. Like on the streets or stuff. But like... There was none of that news in England because if they say that, people might want to leave. We can't have that. The media's tricking us, Dave.
Jamie, he's finding media. They're trying to trick him.
Dave,
send your support to Jamie now.
I hate to tell you this, but this podcast is no longer a gaming podcast. It's now a political resistance.
I've noticed this. I have noticed.
The code word is God Save the Queen. Dave, I've hijacked this podcast.
That's a long multi-word code word.
It'll work. It's trending on Twitter. I already told you this.
Oh, cool.
For some reason, that was really weird. What was trending for you again?
For some reason, a bunch of comic book characters and My Little Pony. So I guess it's all about animation where I am for some reason. Even though I don't really read comics or watch that.
Yeah.
I'm scared, Jamie. I'm very scared.
This morning, like, it was a sad thing with Twitter at the moment, where whenever you see a person's name, it always means the worst. Because this morning, I found out that the actor Alan Young has passed away. And for those who don't know, he was the voice of Scrooge McDuck for like 40 years.
Yeah.
Up until this year. Like, he actually voiced the character in a Mickey Mouse cartoon not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy was in, like, the guy was, like, 96 and he was still voicing that character.
Yeah.
Which...
Plus, he was, I mean, yeah, it was sad to hear him go. He was also the star in Mr. Ed.
That was the other thing I was thinking of, yeah. Because, like, that was his two things. It's like Alan Young, Mr. Ed, and...
I remember seeing that. That was very sad.
Very sad. I mean, at least in a way, it is natural causes, which is a kind of a bit of relief, because at the moment it seems everyone is dying at a really young age. Or not, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, like 96, that's old. And he... Like, to me, it's just amazing how long he continued to play Scrooge McDuck. Like, he was recently they did the remastered of a DuckTales game, and he came back and did dialogue for that.
Yeah.
And it was, as I said, like, it's pretty amazing, because he must have, like, the distinction of playing a Disney character for a long period of time.
Oh, yeah. He almost like probably a record.
Probably, yeah, because... But also, I generally hope this is a character that they might retire with him. Because I feel like if you play a character for 40 years, that character should be you, kind of thing.
I guess, yeah.
I'd like to see that. But yeah.
Although I imagine sometime in the long future from now they will bring him.
Probably, yeah, but... I don't know. You just gotta hope in a way.
I guess, yeah.
Like, there is definitely certain people who are tied to certain characters. Like, you can't say the same thing for, like, a character like Mickey Mouse. Like, if whoever voiced Mickey Mouse now died, they would probably just recast the character immediately. But when you have, like, one distinct voice for a character for so long, it would seem kind of a shame just to, replace him. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be sad.
Yeah,
it's just sad as it is.
I generally had disliked this year for what it's done. Like, I know it's weird
not been a great year.
I know it's weird to blame the year, but there's nothing really else you can blame. There's just been a lot of death this year.
Less than fun things have been happening this year.
Yeah. I'm just going to blame 2016 until there's actually unless something else offers me the ability to, unless something else offers me the chance to accuse that. I'm just going to blame 2016 as being a very bad year.
Yeah. And it has been, really. I mean, it's just been sucky.
It's been just crazy, as I said, with the whole Twitter thing, you go on Twitter, you see a person's name, you just generally, that's your first thought at the moment, because literally
which is not a good thing.
Hell. Especially the other week, I saw Danny DeVito trending, because he was talking about politics, British politics, by the way.
Huh.
But because it's just his name, that's a generally scary thing, and then most people tweeting about him are literally saying the exact same thing. They see his name, and that's their first thought, because at the moment that is kind of just what keeps happening.
Bad things keep happening to good people.
Bad things just keep happening to treasured celebrities, kind of. It's not.
Yeah.
It's all these recognizable names. It's all these people, all these characters or love, all this kind of stuff, and just seeing so many of them go at the same time or in the same span of time. Just a very devastating thing.
Yeah, it's really depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, I hate to take this podcast down a really depressive route, but I honestly don't think I've felt like this before about a year. I've never had I know you hear about people dying, it's sad, but I've never really this is probably going to be the first time I'm ever going to associate this year with so many deaths.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to think of it, because it's happening.
I don't know why, but I love the idea.
Sucks.
I love the idea of a little pamphlet about death, and it's just death is happening.
What can you do about death? Unfortunately, nothing. But we can teach you how to deal with it.
You should write a book. The stages of fighting death.
That should be my first published book, right? Is one on how to deal with death.
And basically, it's just ways that death is just ways you can't outdo death.
Oh, that would actually make for an interesting... I could always make for an interesting plot point. There's always things about that. People trying to outwit or out-survive death.
Especially if you made the book and had it death was a physical character. You made death a person and you just made it impossible to actually...
An alliance of people who want to kill death so that death cannot kill us. And it's just them constantly trying to kill death. And he's just guys, come on. Please, stop. This hurts.
It's people
I'll
putting
kill
themselves...
you early.
People put themselves in dangerous
you're not supposed to die yet, but so help me, I will kill you.
People put themselves...
You're not supposed to die for another 20 years. I'll come for you now.
It should... Literally, the book should just constantly introduce new characters, because all the other characters just keep dying.
they keep dying trying to attract him.
There should be one guy who's part of the Legion but never dies because he's just too smart. Like, he should be the leader.
He's the mastermind.
Yeah. And that'd be a really interesting book. Just people constantly trying to fight death, and then at the end, they just realize they have to accept it.
No, it ends with it has to end on a funny note because I want to make this a comedy.
It should end with
Their cat was death.
No, it should end with Death going home that night after killing all the people. He sits down, and there's a knock at the door, and then a different Death shows up to take him. He's like, "Hey, dude, what? No, I'm not ready for this." He tries to run away, and the other Death just shoots him. Like, I'm gonna have to put you down. No, I've still got a few good years of me. No, you've broken a bone. He lifts up his thing, and he's just missing a leg. It's like, oh. Yeah, can you at least tell me what killed me? Disinfectant. You got infected. You got an infection. Is that actually when you shook that old guy's hand, he gave you a cold? And you just died from it? I'm very sorry. Yeah. So, don't know what to tell you, dude, but this is how it works. Now get in the van. Get in the car. Wow, that got creepy. There'll be an Uber on its way to pick you up shortly. Just pack up your things. There'll be an Uber on its way. I think that should just be a book. Like, just a completely... That's what it should be. Like, people keep dying, but you don't know why. And at the end, Death finally reveals himself, and it's just completely not what you would expect. Like, it's just a completely... Yeah. It's just like a normal guy doing his job. He's got like a clipboard. He's got like a little badge that just says, "My name is Death. Please rate me. Please rate my services." Whoa. Well. Easy there, baby. I said rate. Oh, okay. Why would it go to... Jeez. That... God, that'd be an incredibly weird twist. Why do you think I got freaked out? I was like, uh-oh. It's like Jamie's making it weird. Man. You said you wanted to end your book. Very freaked out. You said you wanted to end your book on a really funny joke. I think that's the joke. That's not a joke. No, but that's what we should. We're ending the podcast on that. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. We didn't. We're scared. I didn't do anything wrong. And Dave just assumed the worst in me, and that ended the podcast. No. You when you hear it, you'll understand. So, thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next season.